everybody, it's Dr. Guy, author of The Dissertation Warrior and founder of the Dissertation Mentor Accelerator Program, and this is a presentation about how to get unstuck from literature review hell, where you are languishing in revision land, where you cannot get off the ground with a viable literature review draft or potentially pass your chair's requests for feedback. What is literature review hell? The literature review is the mountain upon which many doctoral dreams die. When I meet with candidates throughout the world in my one-to-one mentorship and also in my accelerator program, many of them come to me sitting in this exact conundrum. Number one, I've not made progress in my literature review after a very lengthy period of time. Or number two, the feedback that I've received from my chair has not allowed me to move forward. Even if I make revisions, I'm still not able to make progress. There are more revision requests, more feedback through many rounds. In fact, many candidates that end up at my doorstep have been in continuation classes after their doctoral coursework for many semesters, costing them thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And so this video is about how to get unstuck from that process so that way you do not have to experience this literature review hell. So why might you be stuck in literature review hell? Well, every doctoral student is different, but the top reasons I see is number one, that doctoral students attempt to do the literature review like any other paper in their doctoral program. That the way that they wrote any other paper was the way that they attempt to write their literature review. So the research habits, the pre-writing habits, the outlining habits, the drafting habits are what gets brought into the literature review process. It is for no lack of hard work that you're probably sitting where you are today. And it's highly likely that the writing behaviors, the reading behaviors, the annotating behaviors, the note-taking behaviors, all the behaviors that contribute to doing a literature review were not sufficient in your early doctoral work to be able to accomplish this new task. Number two, it's possible that you have not conducted a literature review before you attempted to write it. And I'll be talking about that in just a moment. And number three, the possibility is that your chair's feedback alone is not sufficient for you to be able to pass this literature review task. It is pretty reasonable, I suppose, to think my advisor, my chair, is going to give me everything that I need so that way I can go and I can write this thing. But the reality is that's not what happens. Your chair is just like any other human being that has a schedule, that has certain restrictions on their time, and they're not able to sit with you through every sentence and every paragraph right off the bat when you're at the beginning of your literature review stages or even in the middle of your literature review stages. Most likely they're going to give you the feedback they think you need most right now. So therefore, when you fulfill that feedback, they're going to come right out and they're going to provide you more revision requests that you're going to have to fulfill. So what do I mean by conduct a literature review? A literature review itself, that final report that you turn in, that chapter that you call a literature review, is actually the culmination of a literature review process. That is, it's a verb, it's a doing that you do. You do a literature review so you can then have a literature review. And most candidates that get stuck in the literature review process have not done enough of that doing of the literature review to be able to actually write it. So for example, rather than going and reading, annotating, taking notes on, gathering quotes from great articles, instead what they've done is what they've probably done in the majority of the rest of their doctoral classes. With their essays, they have their essay in one window, and they have an article in another, and they're pulling materials from that article into their essay. In a literature review of this size and of this caliber for a doctoral dissertation, it's just simply not possible to write a literature review in that fashion. Well, you might say, Dr. Guy, I did not do that. I didn't do all those literature review steps, or it's possible that the literature reviewing steps I did do were not sufficient. So what do I do now? Do I just leave my doctoral program? Do I leave my literature review behind? Interestingly enough, that might be an easier path in terms of the amount of work that you would have to do. The consequences of leaving your doctoral program would be horrible. Do not do that unless you absolutely have thought through that course of action. But your literature review, to get this thing right, you're going to have to take a really difficult step. You're going to have to step back from the literature review and say, do I need to go and do the literature reviewing steps, the doing steps that I did not originally do? Do I need to go back to the articles and spend loads of time in the articles so that way I can do the note-taking that's required, the highlighting that's required, the annotating that's required, the gathering of quotes that's required for me to go and then outline my literature review, to then do an even more detailed outline, and then to finally write the literature review potentially fresh in a way that should have been done the first time. It's so easy at this point for you to think, oh man, Dr. Guy, the idea of having to go back. I want you to consider that the feedback, answering the feedback of your chair might not be enough for you to be able to finish this literature review. That the revision requests of your chair are going to keep coming because there's something that might be fundamentally wrong with this document. Consider that fulfilling the revision requests of your chair alone might not be enough for you to finish this literature review. What might be required of you is extraordinary hard work, where you step back from the draft and you say, I'm going to begin again in a way. I'm not going to trash this thing, but I'm going to step away from it. I'm going to put it somewhere and I'm going to hide it from myself. And I'm going to go back into the literature and I'm going to spend 90% of my time there reading, annotating, gathering quotes, note-taking, highlighting, outlining. And then I'm going to start anew. I'm going to start a new draft. And I'm going to go to my old draft. I'm going to grab great material then from that draft and bring it into my new draft. Such that way I'm building a structure from the ground up that is sound. A new foundation that can allow me to finish instead of the current one that may be fundamentally flawed. The hardest step is to step back and to start fresh. So you want to finish. How do you fix this literature review? You have to ask yourself, what level of edits are required? First of all, are they cosmetic? Cosmetic edits, like where commas go, where quotation marks go, where APA headings go, things like this, or the formatting, I should say, of those headings, those are not big things. A strong set of proofreading will probably serve you there. If it is something structural, it will be time consuming. You'll have to be moving lots of things around, but it's not impossible. You absolutely can do this just by doing a moderate level of editing. Now, content-based needs, though, those are exceptionally challenging for you to simply edit around, to revise around. Those will require you to step back from your literature review draft and to go back and do literature reviewing work. Those types of edits can only be solved by reading and taking copious notes. So some final advice in your literature review. As you're trying to emerge from literature review hell, I want you to remember that the actions that brought you to this place cannot help you out of this predicament. Instead, you're going to have to take on a radical new set of actions that are going to allow you to make progress in a way that you've never done before. And so don't fall into those traps that got you into this place. You know something is wrong when you have your Microsoft Word document of your literature review on one side of the screen and you have an article open next to it and you're pulling material in between those. That should not be happening. And the reason why is because you should be taking 90% of your time to do the reading, to do the annotating, to do the highlighting, to do the note-taking, to do the quote gathering, to get the materials, and then the outlining required to get it into your literature review. That's when you know you've taken the right steps. Resolve to spend 90% of your time doing the reading-related activities that are required, the literature reviewing activities that are required, so that way you can do the 10% writing of that literature review. I'm Dr. Guy, and I run the world's most comprehensive online dissertation training for doctoral students, the Dissertation Mentor Accelerator Program, and I hope you'll join me. Right now, registration is open for my dissertation summer camp, and actually a very special deal, 2 camps for the price of 1. So if you want to check that out, look at the link in my bio or the link in this post that brought you here. It's an absolute honor to know you and to work with you on your dissertation. Take care, team, and let's make this an amazing period of progress for you and your dissertation.